Good evening, everyone. I call this special hybrid in-person virtual meeting of the Wauwatosa School Board to order. It is 7:03 p.m. on Monday, December 21st, 2020. We are in conference room C of the Fisher Administration Building, 12121 West North Avenue, with board members participating in person and remotely via the video conferencing platform Zoom, due to active health and safety concerns associated with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic health emergency. Roll call. Mr. Doman.
Here.
Ms. Fraley.
Here.
Mr. Meier.
Here.
Ms. Bufeld.
Here.
Mr. Phillips.
Here.
Mr. Rolland.
Here.
And Dr. Joseph Banker is here. We have one item that we're going to be talking about this evening before we move into closed session, and that is a Montessori recommendation. Mr. Rolland, can you read this one, please?
Here's that. It is recommended that the school board approve Montessori 6th grade students attend in person 5 days per week to be included with their 4th and 5th grade peers in the upper elementary classroom. Junior kindergarten through 5th grade was previously approved at the December 14th, 2020 board meeting. I so move.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Doman. Ms. Bowers, Dr. Erdl.
So this was, the 6th grade was intended to be part of the recommendation, but was not explicitly stated. So we have it back here tonight to explicitly support the recommendation to include 6th grade. The 4th, 5th, and 6th grade are in a multi-age classroom in Montessori, part of the upper elementary classroom. So we're recommending those 9 students be included with our 4th and 5th grade.
Okay. Anything else on this item, Ms. Bowers? Okay. Any board questions or comments on this item?
Yes, may I speak?
Yes, Mr. Meier.
My vote tonight will be consistent with how I voted last week. I don't see that additional discussion is going to move anyone's thinking, but I felt the need to explain my vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Meier. Seeing no board comment or questions on this, is there any community comment on this item?
There are no hands raised.
Looks like we have one comment here in the room.
Joseph McClue from 772 North 116th Street. I have to admit, it was very clever, not to mention sneaky of the board, to agenda the last meeting in such a way as to intentionally and deliberately even avoid any possibility of discussion of returning our middle and high school students back to 5A classes. Why it was the board felt they need to take such a measure is beyond me. I'm also uncertain as to why the board and district feel that the education of our middle and high school students are less important than that of our elementary students. While elementary education is the foundation of their education, it's easy to point out that our high school students do not have much time left in their educational journeys to make up the deficit caused by the pandemic and made much worse by the actions of the district and this board. Here we are now dealing with a mess of your own making. And we are proposing that a special class of students be allowed to join 5 days per week while eliminating those same students from both Longfellow and Whitman schools. This is discrimination, pure and simple. By allowing one special class over another, you are discriminating against those other students. At this point in time, I see the board has basically 4 choices. You can eliminate 6th grade Montessori schools from returning back to 5-day-a-week classes, as was approved in the last vote last meeting. You may open up Montessori and allow anyone who wants to transfer in and out to take the advantage of the option and to return to full 5-day week as they choose. You may allow all middle school students, including those at Longfellow and Whitman, to return to 5-day classes as they wish. Unfortunately, this does not help our high school students, but it does take out the fact that this is no longer than unequitable. And finally, and probably the best option, you may table this discussion, adjourn this meeting, repost it, and once again, resume this meeting either Wednesday or next week to appropriately take up discussing returning all of our students, including our middle and high school students, back to class where they belong. This is the best option for everybody involved and should be seriously taken up into consideration. I would note that all the students must return to class at the very same time. If the board persists in
Joey, you're at time.
persists in going on with this discrimination, I do know people that would be more than glad to take legal action to remedy this measure. The board must vote no to this measure and strike it down, as this cannot happen.
Thank you. Any other board comment or questions on this item before taking a vote?
I'll just follow up and ask the question. Dr. Ertl, is there any legal risk associated with allowing the Montessori sixth grade to return to the building 5 days a week while at the same time holding off for the medical advisory committee to come back with its recommendation related to middle school for Longfellow and Whitman? Is there any legal risk associated with anything like that? Or is there anything you can share on that? Thank you.
No, there is absolutely no legal risk.
Okay, thank you.
And I just wanted to make sure that I clarify the format of instruction that we have in the Montessori school. So if someone could just reestablish that, if they did not hear at our last meeting's discussion.
Sharon, I could clarify for the group. Ashley Imperiale, principal at Montessori. So the sixth graders at Montessori are treated in kind of the, maybe I would say, old-fashioned format of considered elementary students in our building. So they are in mixed age classrooms with their fourth and fifth graders. So what that boils down to at Montessori is there would be 11 total kids, but only 9 are in person, 2 are in TOSA connected. And so between 2 sections, that's about 4 kids in one room, 5 in the other. The Montessori format with those sixth graders is that because of the mixed age group classroom, they have the same teacher and peer group for a 3-year cycle, with the oldest year in their cycle being sixth grade, and they're kind of the classroom leaders, looked at as the way of kind of setting the tone to the classroom. So it would obviously be a little bit challenging to think that they'd be in there for 2 days of the room or 2 days of the week in a hybrid fashion while the rest of their peers within that classroom community are there the rest of the week. And so they've really established there's different leadership roles within that 4th, 5th, and 6th grade cycle, and 6th grade being that year that those kids really look up to being the leaders of the classroom. So to think that they'd be absent half the week would definitely be a little unique for how they would receive their instruction and how that community would continue to flow with their absence the other half of the week.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
May I comment?
Yes, Mr. Meier.
Well, hearing the logic in the public comment, and it was a little bit difficult to follow due to audio, but we have said repeatedly that we will follow the science. And the science presented argued to bring the young people back up through 5th grade. Now, there's even weaknesses in that presentation as far as some people are concerned, as far as I'm concerned. But just to say consistency here, with what was presented last week, there wasn't anything presented that recommended or argued for bringing back 6th graders. And that's just how it is. So how do we get past that with this proposal tonight? It seems that there is a balancing interest in that the Montessori sixth graders aren't like other sixth graders because of the classroom format. So another perspective would be to say that, well, why is this coming down on the side of expanding risk? Why aren't we saying that only Montessori through third grade can come back? So these balances and these arguments really haven't been fleshed out in debate. And so I think it's, from my perspective, it's fair to recognize that. However, my vote was going to be no, to be consistent with my vote last week as well. So any discussion wouldn't affect what my vote would be tonight, because I intend to vote no for other reasons. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
I think one other thing that I left out that I would like to clarify is that our sixth graders, unlike their peers at Longfellow and Whitman, they do not change each period to a new classroom. So it's a self-contained classroom, very much like elementary. So I just wanted to clarify that as well, that they're in the same classroom with the same teacher all day. So there's no movement to different rooms for classes or content areas.
Mr. Meier, you appear to have unmuted yourself, but we are not able to hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I double layered mute here. So that kind of statement matters to me, that there's a physical difference in how the students are configured that does not exist in the non-Montessori settings. So as I was saying before, this kind of discussion, we haven't had a chance to have, but obviously the administrator here, Ms. Imperiale, has enlightened us on some tangible physical differences in the configuration. So I do think that matters as well, that has been said now. Thank you.
Any other board comment or questions on this item?
And only just, Mr. Meier, to further discuss, that's one of the reasons why in earlier conversations in the board room, I really wanted the administration to look at different models, because not every school is the same, not every grade level is the same. But, obviously we have discussed 5-day in person as soon as possible. That has been this board's goal all along. And we have also discussed, the situation that had happened with the last motion on December 14th. So I would like to see moving forward, sooner rather than later, the discussion of the middle school. When do we think that can be 5 days? And the high school, when do we think that can be 5 days? Whether that's a together secondary education decision moving forward quickly or a transitional. I would like to see that coming forward sooner rather than later.
Point of information for the board. January 7th is when the medical advisory panel will be talking about a possible recommendation to come forward to the board. And our next meeting is, I believe, the 11th of January. And if the medical advisory panel recommends at that point the secondary education return in all or part, that will be agended for that meeting. So I would say it's likely but not guaranteed that we will be hearing from the medical advisory panel. We're going to hear from them one way or the other coming out of their meeting on the 7th. And then if they're recommending that we move forward, we will have that agenda on the 11th.
Can we just confirm, is it the 6th or the 7th? I don't want anybody saying that we gave faulty information at this meeting. I thought it was the 6th.
It is Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Thursday the
7th.
So medical advisory panel, Thursday, January 7th. School board meeting,
Monday the 11th.
Monday, January 11th.
To be certain, people should check the website. When their meetings are legally posted, they are posted on the website as well.
Okay, seeing no other comments or questions, we have Sean did the reading, Steve did the second, and I will call the roll. Mr. Doman,
Yes.
Ms. Fraley,
Yes.
Mr. Meier,
No.
Ms. Mufeld,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
No.
Mr. Rolland,
Yes.
Dr. Jessup Banger is a yes. That passes 5-2. Next item on the agenda is for the board to move into an executive closed session. May I have a motion to convene into executive closed session under Wisconsin Statute 19.851C to discuss and consider an administrator's contract and employment?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Doman, for moving, and Mr. Meier for your second. Mr. Doman,
Yes.
Ms. Fraley,
Yes.
Mr. Meier,
Yes.
Ms. Mufeld,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Rolland,
Yes.
Dr. Jessup Banger is a yes. We will convene at a separate executive session link. We may be back in open session again later this evening. The Wauwatosa School Board at 9:25 is back in open session. Mr. Meier, can you read the motion, please?
I move to accept the retirement of Dr. Philip Erdl from the Wauwatosa School District effective at the end of day on June 30, 2021, and I so move.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mufeld. Dr. Erdl?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the school board. It's been a pleasure to serve the community of Wauwatosa and serve the students and staff. And I think probably the thing I'm most proud of is the opportunity to congratulate over 8,000 students as they walked across the stage in Wauwatosa. And knowing everything that goes behind that with all the, from school board meetings, administrative staff, teaching staff, our community support, our businesses, everything that feeds into ultimately getting our kids to graduate and be successful as they leave the doors. And every single year, I would say this is the highlight, the best day of the school year. And to be able to be there with that many students is pretty exciting to me. And another important piece for me is my kids have a place to call home, and will always look at Wauwatosa as their home. They both went through their entire school years in Wauwatosa Public Schools, and it's been amazing. And if my experience as a parent is like most others in Wauwatosa, that's really why we have an incredible community. I just have a lot of people to thank. It's been, I think a lot of good things have happened while I've been here, and it's really the result of the people. It's a relationship business. I feel blessed to have been able to have the relationships with the people that I have, and it's just been a really great time. And not done yet. I have 6 months left to really, I think it's important that we continue to work our way through what we're dealing with right now. And fortunately, I think my whole career has prepared me to get us through this and get us to June in a good place and a good transition with the new superintendent. I'm excited about about that. It's a good time for our district to have a new voice in leadership, and I'm excited for that to happen for our community and for our school district. And so, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ertl. Comments or reflections from the board?
I would like to reflect, and I would just like to say how much I appreciate Dr. Ertl's leadership over the last many years. I have served with you as my colleague and friend, and you have always been a great listener, and you really have led us in Wauwatosa to be the leading Southeastern Wisconsin school district. And I'm excited that you'll be with us during this transition and also for the next chapter. I just want to sincerely thank you. And I'm so privileged to have and to be working with you.
Thank you, Sharon.
I'll jump in. I also just want to give a big thanks, both as a parent and a school board member. Ms. Mewfield touched on this, but I really appreciate your willingness to listen from when I got involved very early on, well before I was on the board. And the thing that I will say I appreciate most is that whether it was when I was serving as a PTA person or on the long range planning committee or as a board member, every time I talked to you, Dr. Ertl, you never rested on your laurels and what you had done. You were always looking forward and very clear how much work the district still had to do, that being good wasn't enough, that you wanted the student experience and the teacher experience to be better. And that just, I think, speaks volumes. And while we, like every school district, has work to do, you were creative and you brought so many innovative things to a district of our size that I couldn't have imagined. And my kids having gotten to experience a lot of those things, I consider myself very thankful as both a, like I said, a parent, and having had the opportunity to work with you as a board member has been just a real treat. So thank you very much. And I'm really excited for the opportunity this will give you to see what's next and how you can help other superintendents, hopefully, on their journey to success too.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Ertl, your unwavering commitment, unwavering integrity, and the reassuring voice you gave to us has always made it very easy to be a board member. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Ertl, I just want to say thank you for 16 years. It's an amazing feat to be a superintendent that long, and without a doubt, our district is better because of it. And I'll say our community is better because of it, for sure. And those 8,000 students that you congratulated, they're out there making the world a better place. I have no doubt of it. And a lot of that has to do with you. So greatly appreciate it. So thank you for all your efforts, and look forward to working with you another 6 months.
Thank you.
I'll go quickly. I'll just say, Dr. Ertl, thank you. You have been a transformational leader. Some people lead and they sit in a chair and keep the status quo going. You have been a transformational leader everywhere you look, whether it's the academic achievement and success of the district, the buildings that are going up, the commitment to equity. Literally everywhere you look, over 16 years, you've really pushed to innovate and do better. So as a parent of 3 kids in the district, I just really appreciate all of the quantity and quality of your time and dedication to the students who have, and parents who have put their trust in you. And thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
I'll go. One of my favorite things that I always hear you say is, let's try it. You never were you always wanted to try it, and that you always wanted to innovate, and always wanted to at least give it a shot, you know, and not just do what everybody else did. So I appreciate that, and happy for you. A little jealous. I wish I were retiring as well, but just very happy for you, and just thank you very much. You know, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I want to say thanks for your deep care of educating. I was incredibly lucky to have you as a teacher, as a coach, and to be learning from you for a really long time, and to be learning with you, and to be able to move to TOSA and watch what you were working to develop and build, and your deep care for educating every kid, for pushing all of us to be our very best. And we're going to keep pushing to do all we can to continue the path that you set us on for equity, to make sure that every kid has the best possible education, the best possible foundation for success in their lives. You helped develop the vision for the graduate, and I'm really looking forward to the team continuing to work on that path. And thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being a model. Thank you for giving so much of yourself. And I'm glad you're going to get a chance to rest for at least 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I may have been everybody. Well, thank you. Bittersweet. We have been lucky to have you as our leader in the district, and greatly appreciate you, and look forward to pushing for the next 6 months to do all we can to keep educating kids. More to come on this, lots of community involvement and opportunities as we begin the process in the coming weeks, searching for our new superintendent. So more to come. With that said, it is 9:35 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh,
moved.
wait, we need to vote on the motion.
Well, Mr. Meier, if I didn't and we didn't vote, that could have been a way of keeping Dr. Hurdle.
Okay, I agree.
You're stymieing attempts here. I don't appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Meier. Mr. Doman.
Yes.
Ms. Fraley.
Yes.
Mr. Meier.
Yes.
Ms. Mufeld.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Rolland.
Yes.
Dr. Jessup Anchor. Yes. We've accepted your retirement. May I now have a motion at 9:36 to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Leanne, I already started writing your name. Sean, I'm gonna take you as the second. Mr. Doman,
Yes.
Ms. Fraley,
Yes.
Mr. Meier,
Yes.
Ms. Mufeld,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Rolland,
Yes.
Dr. Jessup Anger is a yes. Everyone have a happy holidays, safe new year. We'll see you after the new year arrives in 2021. Let's make it a great one. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.